What's up everyone, John Rettinger from TechnoBuffalo here with an unboxing that I'm very excited about. This is the BlackBerry Torch 9800. It is a form factor most consumers have been waiting for, combining a touchscreen and a full physical QWERTY keyboard. I missed this while I was gone on vacation, so I'm really excited to go ahead and take a look at it. Let's get started. Alright, so this review unit came right from the folks at RIM, Research in Motion, the makers of BlackBerry. We'll of course use the obligatory big old knife to cut into the box. And I have not seen one of these yet, so I'm actually really excited to take a look. It is right now a carrier exclusive on ATandT, and is going to run you $199. Go ahead and open up the box. There's a little bit more tape to cut through. And we will get started. Now we're going to go ahead and open up the box. And here we've got some sort of PR stuff about the review unit. And here is the BlackBerry Torch 9800. Push that off to the sides. Go ahead and take a look at the box. Looks like a new BlackBerry box, a new ATandT box. It's all in black, Rethink Possible, BlackBerry Torch. Some pictures of the device, some specs, and of course I'll go over all the specs as we do the unboxing. Text messaging, social networking, web browser. This is running the new BlackBerry OS 6.0 with a full multi-touch capable WebKit browser. So you can get a similar browsing experience to what you get on an iPhone, an Android device, or a Palm WebOS device. Touchscreens, a 3.2-inch touchscreen. We'll talk about that a little bit later. It's got Wi-Fi, 802.11bg and N, and a 5-megapixel camera. It's the highest one the BlackBerry's put in. They're really getting into the higher range consumer cameras. Let's go ahead and open this up. I think I've got a SIM card included for testing. That was nice of the folks at RIM. And here we have the BlackBerry Torch itself. And on first blush, even without the battery, and it's a little heavier than I expected. It's got a solid feel to it though. Push that off to the side and see what else we're going to get in the box. BlackBerry Torch Quick Start Guide. So it's sort of a cross between a Bold and the outgoing, I guess, BlackBerry Storm, which I guess is still around, the Storm 2. A little mini disc, safety information. You've got a pair of headphones, stereo headphones, with a microphone attached and a 3.5mm jack. Got your little wall charger. It's a small BlackBerry charger. Looks similar to what Apple's done in the past. It's nice that RIM isn't shipping those for big wall chargers anymore. It's got a USB port in it, and I assume there's a USB cord there as well, and it is micro USB, so that's sort of the standard. A little bit of a cleaning cloth and the battery. And the battery, I believe, is of size 1270 milliamp hours, which is going to get you about 5.5 hours of talk time. So enough about all the specs. Let's take a look at the device. Or enough of the accessories. Let's look at the device and talk a bit more about the specs and what you're going to get with the BlackBerry Torch. So it is running a 624 megahertz processor. So it's relatively fast. It should be pretty quick from what I've seen and what I've heard. It's very capable of multitasking, sort of handling the things that you look to do on a multimedia device. It's got 4 gigabytes of internal storage, but that's expandable via the micro SD card slot in the back, which should come with a 4 gigabyte card. Battery's going to be good for about 5.5 hours of 3G talk time. 3.2-inch capacitive touchscreen with a half VGA resolution of 360 by 480. 5-megapixel camera on the back with autofocus and LED flash. It can shoot video at 640 by, I believe, 480. And if you want to MMS pictures, it's going to send them off at 176 by 144 pixels. And of course, as I mentioned, 802.11bg and N. Now I can exhale. Let's go ahead and pull off the plastic. It's sort of a satisfying whooshing type noise. Pull off the plastic there, the plastic to pull off. Let's take a look at what you're going to get here on the phone. A lot of plastic. Alright, so these are physical buttons here on the bottom. Those are not capacitive buttons like we've seen on a lot of Android phones. You got sort of your typical array of BlackBerry buttons. Here's your send button, the BlackBerry menu button. You got an optical trackpad here, which is you can select it. So I guess it would be 5-way, back button, and a power and end button. You have a full physical QWERTY keyboard here. Let's see how this feels. It doesn't have as much throw as some of the bold keyboards. That's because it's a slider, so there wasn't that much room to sort of push the keys in or out and still retain a relatively thin form factor. Although on first blush, the keyboard does feel very good. Got the typical BlackBerry keyboard look that you're used to with the bold. Got sort of the angled keys that are sort of all together next to each other. Feels very nice. There is also a full on-screen keyboard as well. If you prefer that, you can use that in landscape or portrait. Let's go ahead and turn this over and take a look what you're going to get on the back. It does have a bit of a rubber ribbed edges. You're going to have a typical BlackBerry buttons on the top here as well. You've got your screen lock button and call mute. Nothing on the left-hand side other than the micro USB port. On the right, volume up and down, sort of inside of almost encapsulated. There's your headset jack and one physical hard button, which is probably going to launch the camera. And I'll be doing a full overview of this device and showing you how BlackBerry operating system 6 works, comparing it with some other devices. If you want to know how this looks next to some other probably competitive phones, let's go ahead and bring in a few. Here is the iPhone 4, for example. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can get a better sense of the size. So a 3.5-inch touchscreen versus the 3.2, a bit of a difference there. And of course the Torch is going to be a little bit wider because of that slide-out QWERTY keyboard. Well, it's maybe the form factor everybody's been looking for, because you do get sort of the best of both worlds, a physical and a virtual keyboard. It does not have the SurePress technology we've seen on the older BlackBerry Storms. This does not press in, it's sort of a true touchscreen. Here's the original Storm, you can see what I'm talking about. The screen actually pushes in. This does not do that. Bring in a few other phones here. Here is the Droid Incredible. There's a pretty decent size there. And one of the larger screens phone, let's bring in the Droid X. See the difference there with the 4.3 versus the 3.2. Quite a big difference in size. So stay tuned to the channel and TechnoBuffalo.com for all kinds of BlackBerry Torch coverage. I'm really excited to sort of get in this and see how it works. Let's go ahead and give it a quick power on so you can see, and again, stay tuned for all the coverage. Alright, so you got the SIM card and battery in. Looks like it's going through an initial boot up. I will cut next to the load screen if there's anything that I can show you. And again, I'll be going sort of more in depth into the operating system and how BlackBerry OS 6 compares with the other competitors. Looks like we're about 3/4 of the way done here. Alright, got the ATandT splash screen, letting you know that it is indeed a world's phone. It's quad band, so it'll work everywhere that you go. So whether you're in Europe, whatever continent, let's go ahead and do some QWERTY security software updates, and you get a kind of a cool load screen here. Love what you do. So go through and got sort of probably some accept information. Go ahead and hit that. Keyboard on first blush does feel very responsive. Simple gestures up and down, opening menus. Go ahead and continue. You can sort of see what the intro video is going to look like. Show you a little bit about the phone. It's got a new menu system where you can sort of show and hide whatever icon you like. You can swipe back and forth on them. Again, I'll show you guys how all this stuff works, letting you know that there is indeed a WebKit-based browser. BlackBerrys in the past were not equipped with the most capable of browsers. This one is supposed to be a huge step in the right direction, and certainly should be a very welcomed addition to all the RIM fans out there. I know there are quite a few of you who are very BlackBerry dependent, so this may actually be the phone that you've been waiting for. So here is sort of the intro video. I am John Rettinger from TechnoBuffalo, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.